Hi guys, welcome back to the Totally Magic channel and another quick fire trick for you. Using 52 playing cards, we know that just by looks alone that we can look at a pack and say, yeah, I know that a pack has about 52 cards in, without the jokers. They do say that magicians, when they cut cards, can feel exactly how many cards they cut to. Let me give you a demonstration. If I cut a few cards, I can feel that I've got 7 cards here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Exactly 7 playing cards. Amazing. Now, I know what you're thinking. That could just be luck. Anyone could do that. But what if we do something different? For example, what if you cut some cards? Just take a small quantity of cards, okay? And I'm going to do likewise a small quantity. Can you please, sir, count your cards? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You took 7 cards. What about me? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 as well. Now, we both took the same number of cards, but could that just be coincidence? I mean, just to prove it, let me just double check. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. What have you got? Just count yours. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, you've got 7 as well. What happens if we do it a third time? But this time, let's try something different with the cards. First of all, we'll give them a shuffle. You see, I want you to cut some cards, but I believe subconsciously you will know how many cards you've cut. We'll also get your friend involved as well, because you're going to actually look at a card that he cuts to. There's the shuffled deck. I want you now to reach over and cut, make it less than half, okay? If you, sir, would like to just have a look at the card he's cut to, show the camera. Now if I take the cards, now how many cards do you think you picked up? 18 cards. Subconsciously, that's how many you did want. If we were to deal down to that number that you say you picked, 18, then the very next card should be your card. Yeah? Hope you've remembered it. Without doing anything, you said 18. Watch. 1, 2, 3, 4, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. You said 18. There's 18 cards there. If that is the correct number that you cut, that you subconsciously wanted to cut, this will be the card that your friend is thinking of. What was the card? The Jack of Diamonds? The Jack of Diamonds. It really was exactly there. But don't forget, you could have had a card cut to down here. If you had cut deeper, you could have had one of these cards here. An absolute free choice, and that is our little card trick for today. The way you deliver this, I'll leave it up to you, but the way it works is pretty straightforward. The deck is faked, so it's a trick deck, because what I've got are, let me just do this, I've got 15 regular cards. I've then got all duplicate cards, and then I've got 5 regular cards. So I've got 15 regular, 5 regular, the rest of the pack, they're all the same. So here is the setup for the deck. The 15 regular go first, followed by the stack of duplicates, followed by the 5 cards at the bottom. Now at the start of the routine, you can show the cards to be regular. You can even show a couple of these. You don't want to go more than 5 here. And then I always start by doing this thing that magicians can know how many cards they cut. Now what I'm going to do here is just take a small packet of cards. Now I know there's definitely, just by looking, I know there's definitely no more than 8 or 9 cards there. So I will say something like, I've got maybe 8. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Now of course I haven't got 8, I've actually got 9, 10, 11. But with the false count, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. The 8th card, I was putting 4 cards down as 1. Note the way that I'm holding these, fingers at the front, thumb at the back, with them squared. If you keep them squared, with your thumb you just count off 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Let's say that I said 7 cards. Or a couple of things on here, by the way, don't hold the cards side on, because you don't really want them to see the thickness, just in case you get some bright spark in the audience that says, oh, there's definitely more than 8 cards there. So I tend to keep the top of the card facing them so they can't see the thickness, and then I just count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 cards. Just that, and just drop them on top. 8 cards. That's the first phase. The second phase is where we both pick some cards from the pack. Now for this, I ask them to take a few cards. Now when they grab a few cards, what you're doing is just looking at the thickness. And what you'll do is you'll take more than that thickness. Not a great deal, but I can see that I definitely got more than he took. So you always want to make sure you've got more than them. Now don't forget, they've taken from the top. As long as they haven't got more than 15, they're going to have all regular cards. You ask them to count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. They've got 9 cards. With my cards still held face on, I will then do the same count as I did before. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 cards as well. That is incredible. 9 cards. I then count them back on there. Now you might think that's a coincidence, you would say to them. I then count the cards because there's a chance that depending how many cards he cut and I took, I may have got into the duplicates. So I know that I've got some duplicate cards on top here. So I want to reverse them again. So I just go, let's just check these. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And I count those, obviously doing a false count, so that I put a bunch of cards at the end. They will then, you say, count yours as well. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Everything looks clean. You've counted cards, they've counted cards, they cut cards, you cut cards. For the final presentation, what I like to do is to shuffle the cards. Now all I'm going to do, remember, I know I've got 15 cards regular on top, then a whole block of duplicates, and then 5 cards at the end that are regular. What I do is I shuffle the cards, making sure that when I get around the 15, I'm pulling them off one at a time. Once I know I'm into my block of duplicates, I can just do a regular drop of cards. Then when I get near the back of the cards, I'm going to start pulling them off one at a time, just to reverse that. What you've now done is reverse the pack. I've now got those 5 ordinary cards on the top and the 15 regulars at the bottom. That's all I've done. I then say to them, we're going to cut the cards, or you're going to cut the cards. They can cut anywhere less than half. You don't really want to get half the cards They can, but they don't want to go beyond that. So just say less. So they take a few cards, you cut the cards, just pop them down there, and you have a look at this. Now they would have cut somewhere in among all of the duplicates. So they show this around, they put it back on top. I pick the cards up and I say, so how many cards do you think you cut? And I just show them this like this, and they might say 10, 15, 20, as long as it's more than 5. Okay, so if they got it totally wrong and said 8 cards, which you can tell there's more than 8, but you know what spectators are like, doesn't matter. And as long as they don't go beyond 26, 27, which is obvious. So you say, so how many do you think you would have liked to have cut? And they say 12. If that is the case, 12 cards were cut, then the very next card will be the card that you looked at. You then count these off, reversing their order. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And if that is correct, the card here will be the card that you looked at. And when they look at it, it is that card. You can do this because under here you've got 5 cards. 1, 2, 3. So you can show a couple. You say you could have cut less cards here. You don't want to go any further. Put those down. You can turn the whole pack over because 15 of these are regular, and just say, or you could have shuffled any of these and cut to any of these ones. But you cut to this one, bam, and there it is.